Welcome to today's deep dive. For this one, we're on a mission to unpack a fascinating 2026 article from MCI and beyond. We're exploring whether, an ancient practice acupuncture could actually help the modern brain combat mild cognitive impairment and dementia.
Yeah, and to do this, we really need to move away from those traditional concepts of like energy pathways.
Right, we're looking at pure neuromodulation here.
Exactly. Think of acupuncture, or specifically electroacupuncture, which adds this tiny electrical current as a way to tap directly into the body's physical wiring.
Like sending signals straight to the central nervous system.
Yes, and the U.S. National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health actually confirms this. They state that acupuncture affects nervous system function.
Which is huge.
And it is. Modern science is treating this as a highly legitimate avenue for cognitive research now, mostly because we can look at measurable physiological responses. We don't have to rely on typical alternative therapy tropes.
Right. And for you listening, we actually see those measurable responses in this 2025 systematic review we looked at. It involved over 900 people with amnestic MCI.
Primarily memory difficulties, yeah.
Right. And the data showed tangible improvements on standard cognitive tests, like the MMSE and the MoCA. And I do have to push back on our source material a little bit here, it carries a pretty heavy warning.
It really does.
Yeah, it notes that earlier reviews found this evidence is often of, quote, low or very low methodological quality. So, we aren't looking at ironclad, undisputed clinical trials here.
No, definitely not. And we have to remember that promising does not equal proven.
Exactly.
But that murky human data is precisely why researchers are, taking a step back to use animal models. Before they can design better human trials, they need to prove cause and effect.
To figure out how a needle in the leg actually does anything to the brain at all.
Right. Which brings us to that 2026 meta-analysis of Alzheimer's mouse models.
Yeah, where the researchers used electroacupuncture on the mice.
Yes, and they actually tracked reductions in amyloid beta, phosphorylated tau proteins, and neuroinflammation.
So wait, if they're seeing those trademark proteins decrease, it implies the stimulation from the needle is physically altering the brain's immune response.
Yeah. The biological mechanism they're chasing, it works a lot like a highway system.
Okay, how so?
Well, when you stimulate a peripheral nerve in the body, like in the leg or the arm, it sends an electrical impulse up the spinal cord.
Right into the brainstem.
Exactly. And that signal can trigger the brain to release specific neurotransmitters or activate these immune cells called microglia.
Oh, the microglia, the brain's cleanup crew.
Yes. They act like a cleanup crew, eating away at those protein plaques and calming the inflammation down.
Okay, so by clearing out that cellular debris and calming the inflammation through peripheral nerve stimulation, the brain is it's in a better environment to maintain synaptic plasticity, right?
Right. Its ability to actually rewire and strengthen its connections. That is the exact biological plausibility researchers are trying to map out.
That is wild. But, even if we set the direct impact on neurodegeneration aside for a second, the article makes this really crucial point about the lived reality of dementia.
Yeah, because dementia rarely exists in isolation.
Right. Patients are usually battling a whole host of secondary issues, too.
Oh, absolutely. We're
Nice.
talking about chronic pain, severe anxiety, depression, agitation, and really poor sleep.
It makes me think of tuning an old radio. Like, even if acupuncture doesn't completely repair the underlying broken dial of the disease, if it can clear up the anxiety and the sleep deprivation, it's like removing heavy static from a radio broadcast.
That's a great analogy.
It just inherently helps the person function more clearly day to day.
Because improving sleep and reducing pain means someone can participate more actively in their own life. And that has immense value regardless of the immediate effect on the plaques and tangles in their brain.
Absolutely. So just to summarize for you listening, nobody is suggesting acupuncture should replace a medical evaluation or prescribe meds or standard dementia care.
No, of course not. It's a complementary tool.
Right. But as the research indicates, dismissing it prematurely just because it's thousands of years old? That's a mistake. It's a missed opportunity.
A huge missed opportunity, yeah.
Which leaves us with a final kind of lingering question for you to mull over. If modern science knows the brain can be influenced through electrical, sensory, immune, and peripheral nerve signals, couldn't acupuncture simply be an ancient method of activating those exact same biological systems?